Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm going to be your host for this morning's session. Today, we're looking at Copilot, how you go about getting started with that, give you an idea of the options that you've got available. So, session today should last. We've got it booked in for an hour. We'll see how we get on with the various demos that we're going to be running through, and obviously, it will be dependent to a certain extent how many questions we get. On the subject of questions, just in case you are new to webinars, we'll run through a quick bit of housekeeping with you. So you don't need a microphone for these sessions. If you do have one and you've enabled it as you've joined the session, you will find that it is muted automatically. You can't unmute yourself during today's session. So any questions that you do have for me on today's session, you'll need to pop them into the questions panel. And to access that questions panel, all you need to do is click the little speech bubble icon. Contains the question mark. If you click that on the toolbar down the right hand side of your screen, it will expand the panel and you get access to that little text box in the bottom corner there. So any questions or comments you have along the way, pop them in there. Remember to click send, otherwise I won't see them. They should pop up on my screen, and again, I'll just try and sort of react to those and pick them up as we're running through the session. If there's any I can't answer, what I'll normally do is just drop you an email later on today once I've had a chance to look at that or find an answer for you. And we just, as I say, we'll drop you an email at some point later today. Now, there's quite a bit to get through, so if anyone wants a copy of today's slides, they are available to download during today's session. So do take that opportunity. There's just a single version of that, the PDF version. You will find loads of information, however, available from our help centre, and I'll be touching on that in today's session as well. So if you want more information about setting it up and getting going with it, I'm going to show you where you can get that information from. Now, as normal, we send out an automated email around about an hour after we finish the session. That will include a link to the recording of this morning's session, and it will also include a link to our registration page. So if you want to attend other webinars or you're fairly new to them, you're not really seen what's available yet, then do watch out for that. Check the link. Our sessions currently are scheduled in up until the end of January. We'll shortly be adding February as well. But loads of topics, whether it's running your VAT return, your year end, we've got a big range. So VAT return, always a popular one. We break that down into 2 sessions, cover it like sort of start to finish as you work through that VAT return wizard. There will be a link to our recordings page as well. So if you've missed any sessions or you just need a bit of a recap on something you have attended previously, maybe not that exact session, but a similar one will be available. It's well over 100 different topics covered on that recordings page now. Now, coming back to today's session, so having a look at Copilot, this is what we're going to be covering. So we're going to start with a brief introduction to Sage Copilot. We'll run through a series of demonstrations to give you an idea of what's possible. So looking at Copilot's insights, report with Copilot, the detailed analysis option, and also the latest enhancement to Copilot in the 32.1. I'll probably mention version numbers quite a bit this morning because there's a little bit of difference between different versions. So payment reminders is the latest enhancement to Copilot. We'll be coming on to what's next. So going forward, what do we expect to be included? How can you get involved? That type of thing. And then just at the end, I'll explain more about the additional support. So there's quite a bit online via our help centre. So if you do need that little bit of extra support just to get you up and running and explain what's available to you, you'll find it available there. And of course, if there's any outstanding questions at the end, I will pick those up as well as best I can. So without further ado, we'll get stuck in. Now, before we get started with Copilot, I just want to almost like address the elephant in the room, and it's accessing Sage Copilot. Some of you will have it available, some won't. Some of you will be using it. Some of you may have heard of it. Some, maybe this is the first you've really been made aware of Copilot. So availability wise, you need to first of all be on Sage 50 accounts version 31.1 or above. You can check your version number within your software. Just go to help and about. It'll tell you your version number at the top left corner. And you also need to be on either the standard or professional variant. Currently, it's not available if you're on Essentials, and also it's not available if you're on an accountant and using the Client Manager Edition. And also, you must be based in currently need to be based in the UK as well. So you will only have access in your software if you meet that criteria. Now, to get going with it, you are provided with a single user license. So that should be included as part of your subscription, assuming you meet that criteria above. Additional licenses can be added, but to get up and running, you need to be logged in as manager. So that one single user license initially will be allocated to the manager user. Right, now moving on a little bit, and I want to mention this, just in case anyone has to leave the webinar early, I like to mention this at the start. So our Help Center contains loads of great information, whether it's introducing you to Sage Copilot, setting it up, using it, logging into your Sage account. Loads of information in there. Now, since I took that screenshot that's on your slides, it has changed a little bit. So I'll quickly share my screen and I'll bring up my browser and just pop into the Help Center. So we'll go to sage.co.uk/help. So nice and easy to find. You will be prompted to choose your product. So Sage 50 Accounts Desktop. And as I mentioned, it has moved. So we're in the process of rolling out version 33. We're running our very first webinar on that one this afternoon to tell you a little bit more about it. So we've now got the install your software at the top. But here we've got Sage Copilot. If you click into Sage Copilot, this is where you'll find the key information surrounding it. So introducing it, how you go about activating it within your software, how you go about logging in, using it, which is obviously what we're going to be concentrating on today. We're looking at Report with Copilot and also that latest enhancement, which I mentioned, been around for a couple of months now, the automated payment reminders. So again, if you want more information, particularly about activating it, getting it up and running, because some of you will try and think, well, I haven't even got it listed, and then it's going to be something like your region or your version or your logon that causes the issue. Again, if you need any support with that, though, our support team is on hand to help you literally get up and running with that. So head along to sage.co.uk/help, choose Sage 50 accounts, and then, as I mentioned, you will have this Sage Copilot panel. Right, let's head back to the slides for a few minutes. Bring up the next one if I can find the right button. Now, Copilot's been out for a little while now. It was originally released in version 31.1. So it's been around for just over a year now. And when it was first introduced, it was all about providing you with insight. So think of Sage Copilot as almost like I suppose what we term a digital assistant. Now, a lot of it, sort of the information that is provided within Copilot, which you'll see in the demos in a moment, you can already get at that information. So you can get a list of products that are low on stock or out of stock or unusual values against transactions. There's debt management areas within the software. But the idea with Copilot is it's a digital assistant. It provides that. It provides that top level information for you very easily. You can easily get at that very quickly as well. And you can always drill down into the various areas to get at more detailed information if you want it. So you can go from a top level figure almost to transactional level very, very quickly. Now, when Copilot was first introduced, it was all about providing you with these insights. Now, the insights are available in 5 different ledgers within Sage 50 accounts. So you've got it within customers, suppliers, you've got it within products and services, nominal codes, and also the transactions ledger as well. Now, depending which version you're on, when you're using Copilot, and some of you may have noticed this option as well, on your toolbar, if you're on an earlier version, so 31.1 or 32, you'll have an icon at the top on your toolbar. If you're in these ledgers, that's a Copilot Insights. If you're on 32.1, it's been renamed to just Sage Copilot. So again, you'll see that on there as well. And you would just click it and it will bring up the relevant panel for you. Now, the Copilot Insights they adopt key themes in your software, so things like debt management. They help you manage your inventory, so your stock levels. They help you monitor business performance. Anomaly detection, so it'll try and identify any issues with your processing. We'll come on to that one because that's probably one of my favorite insights, anomaly detection. I'll come back to that one in a moment. And then we've got reporting analysis as well. And a lot of it will be linked to reporting. But again, it's providing you with top level information that you can drill down into if you are after that. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at it. We're going to see it in action. Just before I do that, I'm going to give you an idea of maybe what one of them would look like. So when you click that Copilot Insights or Sage Copilot option, it's going to bring up a panel on your screen. So for debt management, you'll find that's available within customers. In there, you'll be able to easily access a summary of things like overdue invoices, those due within the next 7 days. You'll be able to drill down to those individual invoices, view the transaction information, send out statements individually or as a batch. You can add reminders as well. And also, if you are on the latest version, which we're going to look at a little bit later, you've got the payment reminders functionality as well, meaning that as things approach their due date or start progressing through being overdue at a certain amount, you can send out emails. We'll come on to that one a little bit later on. So debt management available within customers. I'll just quickly flick through some of these just to give you an idea of what they look like. You've got inventory management, so helping you to identify items out of stock, items low on stock, items that are likely to be out of stock soon. So it's going to look at your daily sales and have you got enough in stock to support the next 30 days. So we'll calculate that for you. And again, you can drill down onto it very quickly to identify those items. You've got business performance available in a number of the different insights. Again, you can drill down on it. Anomaly detection. I'm going to show you this one in a moment. Available within transactions. Now, anything to do with finding potential processing errors always goes down really well. Or anything to do with avoiding situations where maybe you submitted your VAT return and then you spot mistakes. You run reports and think, well, that figure's a bit unusual. You start investigating that and you find the error, or fingers crossed you find the error. Anomaly detection, which is available from within transactions. So when you click Copilot Insights, excuse me, it's going to try and track down for 4 types of anomaly. So transactions with unexpected nominal codes, unexpected tax codes for the transactions that you enter, maybe an unexpected amount or VAT amount. And that's going to be based on your history. So it's going to look at your individual information there, your historic information. So, well, when you enter this transaction, maybe against this nominal code, this one looks a bit unusual. You don't normally use that tax code when you post to this nominal code, or so, excuse me. So that's the type of thing it's going to identify for you. Now I'm just going to play a little video for this one. If I find the right one. There we go. I'll come back to you live in just a couple of minutes, but this will give you an idea what anomaly detection looks like within your software.
The Copilot Insight for anomaly detection is all about helping you to improve and maintain the accuracy of your data. We all know it's easy to make a mistake, such as specifying the wrong tax code for a transaction, so anything that helps has got to be positive. The insight helps to identify potential issues, and to keep things simple and streamlined, enables you to easily edit the transaction and make corrections there and then. The Copilot Insight is accessed from the transactions ledger. Insights are grouped into nominal codes, tax codes, and amounts. Check tax codes shows the number of transactions where the tax codes are different to the usual ones that have been used on the account in the past. Clicking transactions with unexpected tax codes lists the relevant transactions. If you're working in a specific period, you can easily narrow down the date range by applying a filter rather than working on the default group covering the last 12 months. You can even apply a filter so only specific transaction types appear. You can search within the results and also have the flexibility of exporting the list, for example, if you prefer working in Excel. Each transaction shows the current details and the suggested correction. For added flexibility and speed, you can then action changes there and then. Edit brings up the familiar Edit Transaction window, so if required, you can make the correction there and then. If you've already corrected it outside of the Copilot Insight, simply flag it. Then finally, when a correction isn't required, for example, you've posted a transaction which is a one-off and it's picked up as an anomaly, you can flag to ignore it. As transactions are flagged, they'll be moved to the appropriate tab. If you're a bit too quick and accidentally ignore a transaction, then don't worry, this can easily be undone. The main list can also easily be refreshed at any time, meaning you can quickly ensure you're up to date if other users are currently processing before you close out.
Right, I'm back with you live at that point. So that was the anomaly detection Copilot Insight. What I'll quickly do though is I'll share my screen just so it can give you a bit more of an idea of what that looks like in your software. So I'm using version 32 today. I am on the professional level. So you might, if you're not on professional, you might see things in the background that maybe you don't have access to. You might be on a much lower level. So customers, as an example, if we pop into customers, you'll see I've got the Sage Copilot icon on the end there. Now, again, to see that, you need to be logged in as manager. If you're not going to have access to it. Once it's enabled by the manager, it can be allocated to a different user if required, or if you add additional licenses for it, again, it can be assigned to your colleagues. But all you would do is you would give it a click, it'll open the panel, a bit like the if you access the help or the new Sage Assistant, it will give you this style sort of panel down the right hand side. So here within customers, we've got things like it's given me sort of net profit for the current month to date. It'll compare that to sort of last month, and also it'll compare it to the same period for from the previous financial year as well. Again, you can view your sort of sales breakdown if required. We've got your debt summary option. Now this debt summary area, it may work a little bit different. It depends on your version. Latest version is 32.1. So the debt management option in 32.1, we're going to come on to a little bit later on because it's got those payment reminder functionality within there. So it looks a little bit different to previous versions. Into suppliers. Again, just clicking on Sage Copilot, you'll see it opens the panel and it's going to provide you with that sort of top level information. I want to break down, I can sort of see the breakdown, just click the options and it's going to gather that insight information for you. Again, from here, we can start drilling down onto whatever we want. A little bit of scrolling for myself. I've got my resolution on my laptop set really low today, just to make things that just look that little bit bigger, just so make it a bit more easier on the eye for you. So that's Sage Copilot. If anyone's looking at your toolbar and think, well, actually, I think I've met that criteria, but I still don't have access to Sage Copilot, it's not listed, then what we normally recommend is to refresh your license. So you would go to Tools, Activation, and you've got an option, Refresh License. Now that will contact the Sage license server and if necessary, update your license in your software for you. So it's quite possible that you maybe haven't updated your license when it should have been, you know, to get you on the latest update and the latest licensed information for your subscription. So do check that as well. But again, that would be covered via our help center if you're trying to access that and you don't have access to it currently. So as I mentioned, it's in customers, suppliers. If you're on 32.1 as well, you get these, what's technically called the Copilot Sparkle. So this little sort of star shape next to the ledgers that have the Copilot Insight available within it. So that's only on 32.1, that one. Just to, again, try and raise that awareness of it. If you are on 32.1 and you haven't enabled Copilot yet, you'll get the option or the message along the top. Looks a little bit different. It just says Sage Copilot active on 32.1 when it is enabled. So what I would say is, if you've enabled it, have a go, have a try of it, see what's available. Now, so far, we've covered the features that are available. Head back to the slides. Available in essentially version 31.1. So the Copilot Insights when they were that was the first feature when Copilot was first made available. Since then, we've added extra enhancements to it. So again, we collect feedback. I'll be asking you to get involved with that a little bit later. But we do gather feedback, and obviously based around that, we've added additional features. Now, reporting plays a massive part of Sage 50 accounts, very important. An account system is really only as good as the information you can get out of it. So you could record everything, but if you can't report on that or get out that information, not very useful. And we get a lot of requests or a lot of calls, whether that's via telephone or email or via the chat facility to our support team, asking for certain reports. And we get loads just based around the transactions list, just saying, right, I want a list of these transactions. I want a list of, and it gives you some examples there at the bottom, unpaid sales invoices for the current month. I would like them ordered by value, highest first. I would like all transactions from this year not using T1. List is pretty much endless. Now, yes, there's sometimes more than one way to do that. Quite often you look at reports and think, well, actually, the only way you can generate that is to go in via the Sage Report Designer. Some of you may have been on the report design sessions recently. We don't go anywhere near as in-depth as creating brand new reports, but we give you an idea of what's possible with Report Designer. It's a very powerful tool. And the idea with Report with Copilot is it avoids you doing that. It's a bit like journal entries. So why post a journal when you've got other options which make it much easier to enter that type of transaction, such as using the bank transfer option? So this is, I suppose, in a similar way, it makes designing reports much easier. You just type in a message. What is it you're after? So I'm going to show you this one in action. So this was introduced in version 32. It was subsequently updated report with Copilot. So enhanced a little bit on the back of, again, requests where people have used it and thought, well, actually, it's great, but I need it to do this as well to make it more useful to me. That's when I'd start using it. So we added that. We added the ability to group information together by customer, by supplier, by nominal code. You can add totals for those as well. So we'll have a quick look at Report with Copilot just to give you a little bit of the sort of the ins and outs of it. Now, Report with Copilot, it's available within any ledger where you've got a reports option. So customers, I've got reports. I could go into bank accounts. I've got reports. I could go into transactions. I've got a reports option. So it doesn't matter how you access it. So you just click reports. And on your reporting toolbar, you'll have, now, if you're on 32.1, latest version, you've got Sage Copilot at the top. It'll be called Report with Copilot otherwise, if a slightly earlier version. And all you do is you give it a click. It'll open a panel similar to what we've just had when we looked at some of the insights. So it gives you a welcome message. It gives you a little bit more information about what you can try. So it's just about you typing in your request within here. Now, before I do that, just want to quickly mention that the reports are based around this, your transactions list, what we term your, or what would be termed your audit trail summary. Your audit trail just being a list of transactions. I suppose it's how far back you go with accounting software. Your list of transactions previously would have been called your audit trail. So these transactions here, it's a list of all your bank payments and receipts and invoices, journals. So these are all the ones that appear on the likes of your nominal activity, your bank activity, your customer supplier activities. It doesn't refer to your invoices list or your credits list or your products and services. It refers to this list of transactions. Now, it doesn't matter where you access Report with Copilot from, the reports it generates are based around this transactions list. So if I went into customers, it would still, when I'm requesting information, it's still going to be based around this list. So if I go into reports and then Sage Copilot, again, it'll give me a little bit of information. I'm just going to copy what's there. And rather than me type it, I will pop it in, I'll paste it in there. What I'll do is, I'm going to change it slightly. So I'm just going to put from 2025 rather than just from the previous month. I'll knock the filter bit off. I'll leave it at that. So that's what I'm asking for. I'm after a list of invoices from that are dated 2025. I would like them grouped by customers, and I would like them sorted by the gross amount in descending order. So I'll just click send. It'll do a bit of processing initially. And it's saying, right, got some additional questions for me. The more you use this, the more you're going to get what you're after, almost like first time. And I'll just copy that one as well. It's just me typing it in. I'm not the fastest at typing, but I'll put that extra T in there. Just click send again. So again, it's just try to sort of fine tune to make sure it understands what you're after. The more you use it, the more you're going to get out that information very quickly. Let's come back with a summary of my request. Now, if I'm happy with that, I can just type confirm. And then click send. So it'll process. So essentially, it's designing the report for me. And once that's done, it's going to ask me to give the report a name. Now, because I run this webinar so frequently, what I'll do is I'm going to put reports, and I'll do 25. I'll put the date in backwards so we can easily recognize it, and I'll submit that. So I'm giving it a number. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could give that a meaningful name, but I'm just going to put the date in there so I can easily recognize that. So anyway, it designs the report. Obviously, it names it whatever name I've given it there. So it'll create that for me. And then it's asking me, right, well, what do you want to do? Now, I can't edit the report, so it's just like any other Sage report. You could edit it within the report design if you wanted to. I could just start again. I could close out of the report with Copilot area, just re-access it to start again, or let's just preview the report, see what it comes up with. So again, it's more of a listing type report still at this stage. I could have asked it for more detail if I wanted to. So again, it's all about trying to refine exactly what you're after. And I would encourage you to give this a go. The worst that can happen is you design a report that you don't use. You could always delete that going forward if needed. Now, I'm just going to close out of that. And what I want to just sort of mention to you as well is that when it does that, it saves it as a standard Sage report. Now it saves it within the transactions, my transactions reports folder. So we could always go into transactions, and this time just go into reports and my transaction reports. And it'd just be a case of looking for the one I'm after. So yeah, this is the 11th today. So this is the one we've literally just created. So that's a standard report. I could run that again if I needed to. You'll find when sometimes you run it, you might have added filters on there to be able to specify a date range, that type of thing. Hasn't included it on this one. If you've attended the report design sessions, you'll know how to then enable filters on a report. Those report design sessions as well, the recordings are available online if required. But I would encourage, have a go. I could be on all day trying to show you the ins and outs of designing reports. Have a go. See what you can generate. See how easy it is to create that. Some of you will just look and think, well, actually, I'm really proficient in Excel. So what I'll do is I'll just, from the transactions list, if I wanted that, so I would just send the information to Excel and off I go from there. Others, maybe not so. And that's where Report with Copilot comes into its own. Right, let's head back to the slides. So in 32.1, again, the latest version, we also added the detailed analysis. And this is available within the Copilot Insights within nominal codes. So a nice little enhancement, this one. It's used to analyze your profit and loss and balance sheet, and it surfaces that sort of top level information, that key information in your accounts in an easy to read format. Rather than just providing you with figures, it's more of what I term a commentary analysis of your profit and loss and your balance sheet. So rather than me just tell you, I'm going to show you this one in action. So I'll go back to my screen. I need to go into the nominal codes ledger, and we access the Sage Copilot Insight. So this is the detailed analysis part. If you're just on 31.1, you won't have this section. You'll just have this top bit. So 31.1, sorry, 32.0 or 32.1, you will have this detailed analysis area. We just click on the Analyze Profit and Loss. It's going to ask me what sort of period I want to run that for. So we'll do it right up to date. Just gives you the months of your current financial year as well, a bit like when you run a standard P&L. Choose your period. So it'll extract your data. Obviously, it's going to provide that or complete that analysis. And then it provides you with that commentary style analysis. So again, it's not just figures. It's not just like a P&L report where it's giving you, right, this is what your sales are, this is what your gross profit is, your net profit is. It's providing you in the form of more of a, I suppose, business advice, providing you with highlighting what it recognizes as your strengths and your weaknesses. So it's saying high return on sales on my dummy data. So according to this, on my dummy data that I'm using for the purpose of this demo, doing all right, 75% return on sales. It indicates excellent operational efficiency. Excellent. So have a go of that as well. Again, it's just like anything else. You're just running a report. Can't do any harm by running a report. Have a go. So that's available for both your profit and loss and balance sheet from the Copilot Insight within nominal codes. Now we'll head back to the slide for just a moment. 32.1, latest version. We're just in the process of releasing version 33. Nothing has changed with regard to Copilot functionality. However, in 33, which if you are signed up for this afternoon's webinar, you will see that there is an option to try Copilot without making any changes to your software at all. So if you want to give Copilot a go and not make any changes, so you're not wanting to sort of sign up for it and enable it and things like that, then there is a try Copilot option. Again, that's still regional dependent as well, and obviously what we term variant specific as well. So you're only going to get that, again, if you meet that criteria, if Copilot would normally be available to you. Now in 32.1, we added the ability to group and add subtotals into that report with Copilot, which we've just seen. You had that sort of grouping in there where it grouped customer invoices together. But the big feature is payment reminders, and there's the option in there to automate that task as well. So helping to improve your debt management. So if you send out payment reminders, this could be a big time saver for you. So if you're working credit control, or maybe that's just part of your function, sending out reminders to customers. We'll see it in action in just a moment. I'll run you through. So if you think about, if you do work in that function, how long do you spend chasing outstanding amounts? You normally just email, do you ring them? Do you visit them? It's all about emailing out reminders. And obviously when you do that, statistically, it helps you to get paid just that little bit quicker. And you can automate that task. So yes, you can do it manually, but you can automate it. You don't need to sit there and say, right, I want to generate this one. I want to send them a reminder. Sage Copilot will identify what needs to be sent, and it can do that for you. But you're in control of that. You can do it manually, or you've got the automated option. Let's have a quick look at that in the software, give you an idea of how it works. Make sure I've shared my screen. So it's part of the Copilot Insight in Customers. And it's in the debt summary. So debt summary is telling me I've got 8 sales invoices worth X amount, which are now overdue. Just click into it. Now these screens here, this little screen here that I'm moving around there, it's just providing me with a little bit of help information. I always think when these come up initially, and you can hide them if you want to, I would encourage you, have a good read through them. A lot of people just ignore these messages. The idea is it gives you a bit of an insight, a little bit of help to get you started, point you in the right direction. But you'll probably find after a while, you just tick the box to get rid of it. I don't want to see that every time. And if you leave it on there, a bit like bank feeds, I always think it feels a little bit disjointed. It doesn't flow very well if you leave them on there. So you've got to do something to, that pops up and I say, right, oh yeah, I want to ignore that. I want to continue. But what we've got in here, the debt management with Sage Copilot, we basically got a bit of a summary at the top. Total overdue, total upcoming in the next 31 days. It breaks the what's outstanding into sort of two different areas. We've got overdue, gives me a list of the transactions that are now overdue. You've got basic information, transaction number, which account it's for, how many days it's been overdue for. You've got the reference, which generally is going to refer to the invoice number. And you've got the details, how much is outstanding, the chase status, so what has been done so far, if anything. You can view that chase history, and you've also got an actions drop down as well. And you've got that for both tabs. So you've got the list of items that are overdue, and also you've, just if you want to stay ahead a little bit, you've got the ones that are upcoming. So you can almost like get ahead of the game. Now, if I just wanted to, let's say I wanted to send a reminder to this one, I appreciate it, sorry, it's saying 28 days till this one is due, but let's say that was quite close to the due date. I might think, well, actually, I just want to give this customer a bit of a nudge. I've not done anything yet. There's no reminder sent here. I can view the chase history and it says no history available because I haven't done anything yet. But on actions, we have a choice. What do we want to do? Do we want to compose a reminder email and send that out? Do we want to just generate a statement, or do we want to just remind me a little bit later on? Let's say I want to compose a reminder email. So this is me doing it manually. Now, a lot of this is already done for me. It's going to pick up the email address from the customer's account. By default, it's going to use email address number 1 from the customer record. If you wanted to change that or add other email addresses in, you can do that. You've got a subject line which is going to be generated automatically for you. Now you can amend this as well if you want to put something completely different in there. You've got certain data fields as well, which are going to be pulled through into that subject line. So in this case, it's going to say invoice, whatever the invoice number is due on, and it's going to provide you with the date. You might even want to put your company name at the start of that. It's up to you. You've got basic email, which is being generated or going to be generated automatically for you. Again, pulling certain key Sage information through. You can set the length of that. You might want to change it. You can draft with Copilot as well. You think, right, well, I set the, whatever it is, the length of that email, and I want to draft a slightly different one. You can amend it if required, so you can click into it, and you've got the full option to edit that. If you want to insert additional fields, just tick the little box. Just a case of clicking where you want to insert something, and you would just click. Let's get rid of that one. So easy to amend it if required. And also there's the option to add an entry to the customer communications if needed. Now, other than that, that's it done for me. So this is the payment reminder email that is going to be sent to that customer for that one transaction which was approaching their due date. What I do, I click send. And it tells me your email has been sent successfully. Just okay that. And on here, on the list, I now see that chase status rather than no reminder sent. It now says due reminder. I click there, I can see that was sent at on the 11th of December at 10:44. So nice and easy even if you just want to do it manually. Nice and easy to do that. Now, while we're in here, we've got options to manage our layouts. Now, manage layouts, it's going to ask you for 2. Now, obviously mine's already set up. So it's going to ask you for an invoice layout and a customer statement layout. Now, the way these will be used is when you do send an email, it'll automatically attach either an invoice or a statement. So just a case of you choosing your layout, if you designed your own, you can use that. Just a case of browsing and choosing the appropriate one. Now you've also got this, and I suppose this is, for me, this is the big time saver, the manage automated reminders. So far we've done it manually. We selected the transaction, we went into actions, we said, right, I want you to compose that reminder email and send it to this customer. But manage automated reminders will bring up this option here. So you've got essentially four types of reminder. You've got the upcoming, which is what we've just done manually, but there are three additional levels. You've got one which is overdue, one which is classed as warning, and one which is classed as a legal action threat. So by default, the due reminder is going to be sent 7 days beforehand, before the due date. You can choose that. You can customize the email template. You can choose which of these you want to send and schedule out so it's sent automatically. So I've just got those first two selected. It's up to you which ones you choose. You can customize your template. Again, just a bit like what we've just looked at. The difference within here is I suppose the scheduling element. The rest of it's the same. Your email address at the top, your subject line is going to be generated automatically. The body of the email, again, you've got the same sort of functionality. You can pick and choose what's included in there. But this is I suppose the scheduling option. By default, I've got mine set to send 7 days before the due date. I might reduce that. I might think, well, normally what I do is I chase them the day before, a couple of days before. So I can do that. I can get it to do it automatically. I can say, right, 2 days before, what I want you to do is send out this email to remind customers. Now, you might think as well, actually, I wouldn't normally chase anyone that's got a value below a certain amount. We can do that. You might just think that's an improvement to the system and that you're going to chase everything, no matter what's outstanding, because it's automated. So it doesn't really take any effort to chase someone that owes you, a minimal amount. This will do it. If you are wanting to set a lower limit, you can do that. You might think, well, what's the least amount that I'm going to chase customers for? You pop that in there. Anything below that, it's not going to be included. You can also, once it's sent, you can choose to change the status. Just leave it as is. If you've never come across account status before, excuse me, if you've never done an account status before option, there is a recording of that available from our webinars list. You've got the option to add a subject line in, obviously just as normal, but the only difference from sending it manually is this scheduling option. So you can choose that. So you're still in control of that as to what gets sent. Quick question from James there. Can you send a statement rather than an invoice? Statements, you can't automate them yet. I think that's probably going to be the next thing that everyone's asking for once you've seen the automated reminders, just the ability to automatically send out complete your statement run for you. Not in there yet. At the moment, you would have to manually do that. That's something to be aware of. So on here, we've still got the actions. There's an option to generate a statement and send that out if needed. So again, coming back to this one, you've got the options there to customize the templates for each of those. Again, you might think, well, legal action, I'm going to reword that one completely. You can go in, choose what it is you want, amend the wording, what information's included, change your subject line if required. And again, you can adjust the scheduling options. Now, once that's set up, it's then just over to Copilot. You don't need to do anything else if you're just relying on the automated payment reminders. So hopefully that's a task maybe that you don't need to get involved with going forward. It just does it for you. So as an invoice hits the sort of in my case, the 2 days before its due date, the reminder email will be sent. When it hits 7 days overdue, then the next one will be sent, be done automatically for you. After that, on mine, that's it. No additional reminders. If you want to, you can enable the others as well. So it's up to you. You can pick and choose. Now, one thing to be aware of, and I always like to point this one out, is within the manage schedule settings. So within here, you've got this little link here, manage schedule settings. By default, those reminders, so when it hits that point in time, your invoice falls into a certain period, becomes sort of 2 days beforehand, for instance, it will automatically send it by default. Scheduling will be done on a daily basis, so it doesn't take the weekend off. It will still do that for you. But it is set by default to be sent at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's something to be aware of. Some people like to change that, just in case your customer gets a pinged message and their phone starts binging and waking them up in the middle of the night, just to annoy them a little bit more. Some people like that. So we'll stop hassling you once you've made your payment. You can run now. So if you do change any settings, you can just click run now, and again it would do that for you. Otherwise it would be 1 o'clock. You can change that. You've got half-hour increments throughout each day. You can set the frequency as well. So by default it is daily, but you can set that on a weekly basis or even a monthly. Obviously, if it's weekly, you can choose your day of the week. So if it's a task that maybe what you do is you complete that on a Friday, for instance, that's your Friday job, you can still do that. But again, when it's automated, you tend to find people just go, right, I want to do that every day. As soon as it hits the relevant point, or because it's automated, it just gets on with it. If you want to have a go with that, and then you think, well, actually, I don't want to continue using that, you can just disable the automated payment reminders if you want. Obviously disconnect it as well. So you've got a number of options. Again, you'll find more information about what we've discussed in the session today. You'll find that in our help center that we mentioned at the beginning. Rachel, you mentioned there, can you only chase individual invoices, or can you put multiple invoices due on the same day in the same email? It will be on an individual transaction basis. It's not going to merge them. So if you've got two separate invoices, one is due, let's say one is due to tomorrow and the other one is due in the middle of next week, it's going to treat those individually. But going forward, let's see if I can find the right slide. Going forward, and this is why sort of the automation to a certain extent was introduced. It's all based on your feedback. What do you want to see going forward? So do get involved, have your say, let us know what you think when you start using it. Is it something you just think, well, it's not right for me just yet? Still have your say, get involved, submit your feedback. You can do this for anything within your software. You can submit your suggestions via what we term the Sage 50 UKI Ideas portal. I know some of you have done that previously. Now it's really easy to access the portal. Just go to within your software, just go to the home page. So top option on your left toolbar, scroll down, you've got your roadmap. It'll bring up this screen. Just scroll down a little. Again, I've got a really low resolution, hence I'm scrolling up and down and everything looks really big. You can submit your ideas and you can vote on those as well. So this is a list of customers' suggestions. Actually, this one's mine. I put that one on yesterday on the back of me running a session on correcting journals. I just thought, actually, you can't edit or delete journals yet, or open and balance journals against nominals or bank accounts. So I'll put that on. It's got 6 votes already. more votes these options get, your feedback gets, the more likely it is to be included in your software. Some really popular ones in here as well. You can see this one. Attachment facility for all transaction types, 362 votes. So have a look through that, get involved, pop in your suggestions. Don't just sit there and keep it to yourself, let us know. Right, any final questions? If you want to pop them in there, do take that opportunity now to pop them in and I'll try and answer those for you. Remember, there will be a link to the recording of today's session that will be included on your follow-up email, which you receive in around about an hour's time. There'll be a link to register for our upcoming webinars and also to our recordings page as well. Our timetable currently runs up to the end of January. A lot of sessions in there that we've run previously. So if you want a bit of a recap, or maybe you're fairly new to webinars, get yourself signed up. So all favorites in there as well. And hopefully we'll see you on some of them soon. Right, brings us to the end of today's session. So I hope you've enjoyed it, giving you a little bit of an insight into Copilot and what it's currently capable of supporting you with. You can take a minute to complete this survey. If you've got any thoughts, ideas you want to share with us, pop it on there. And watch out for your follow-up email. So that's going to have that link to today's recording, the link so you can register for our upcoming webinars, and also a link to our recordings page as well. Right, don't think we have any outstanding questions, so we'll end the session just at that point. Many thanks for coming along. Get yourself registered for some of those upcoming sessions, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon. Many thanks.